Right, it's the final day here at the National Ploughing Championships. I'm here now with Colin Donnery of the FRS Network. Colin, jobs is a hot topic in the industry at the moment, but big news coming out of FRS. Can you tell me more about this?
Yeah, so on Tuesday, I suppose on the launch day, we announced 300 new jobs within the farm relief services. So look, we currently have over 1,200 people working on farms every day, mostly milking cows, doing general farm work. We also do hoof care, freeze branding, etc., soil sampling. But I suppose with the growth in ag in probably since 2015, when quotas were lifting, we're seeing huge demand for labour. So we need minimum 300 people by the end of the year just to sort of keep things going. Farmers are under severe pressure at the moment, productivity-wise, that's what it's all about, so.
And so getting these workers in, has there been much issues with regards to legislation, with regards to permits?
Yeah, no, so I suppose, look, the people we're looking for, obviously, first and foremost, is local people in close to our 10, farm relief offices across the country. That's our first port of call. Traditionally, we hire a lot of students and that type of thing. We're seeing a lot of women returners coming into the workforce, but we do bring a lot of people in internationally. So from the EU, that hasn't been a problem. So look, we can, from Eastern Europe, etc. But what we're seeing is, I suppose now, is going further afield, work permits are required. The department had announced 150 work permits earlier in the year, and seemingly we learned yesterday that is sort of closed. So that's going to create huge problems, particularly for spring. So I suppose we're calling on all the ministers, Minister McConaughey, and I suppose the Taoiseach, who has responsibility for the work permit section, to actually issue an awful lot more permits. There was only 150 last year, which is literally a drop in the ocean. We need to see more, upwards of 1,000 permits, to just fill even part of the demand,
That's a stark difference in the figures for what the permits being announced and the permits that you said you needed. Will this create a labour shortage in the years ahead?
Oh, certainly. Like even now, I suppose as farms have increased and herds have increased dramatically, farmers are requiring at least a minimum really of one labour unit on a farm, plus the farm relief as well. So you're going to see a massive shortage in spring. Like when, I suppose from February to May would be our busy period traditionally. And like we need a minimum of 300 people just to stand still. And we're only serving probably about 20% of the market, right? So individual farmers are going to require this, as farms grow and we get really deep into springtime. I can see, huge pressure coming on farmers, personally, so.
And from your point of view, what is the interest like in young farmers getting into the industry?
Yeah, so look, I think definitely there's a huge challenge there, right? Perception, basically what's happening is farming and agriculture is competing with construction and business. We're seeing an awful lot of young farmers who've grown up on farms, going to university. Only a very, very small proportion of them are actually doing ag or going to UCD. An awful lot more going into business. And we're not attracting enough young people into the industry. I think there's a number of reasons for that. Obviously, it's hard work. That's the first thing. There's a perception there that there's a lot easier ways to make money. And really, we need to improve the brand, of farming from a work perspective. I think what we see, particularly now, like in most businesses, there you can call on experts and right across. If you're in a business, you've got finance and IT. Like farmers are now running businesses where they're really solely responsible for everything. They're trying to do everything, and we need to support them. I think we're seeing an awful lot of stuff around sort of wellness, depression, these type of areas. If a farmer has increased his herd, from 80 cows to 150, that's double the sort of production, requires double the time, a lot of the time, an awful lot more effort and an awful lot more pressure coming on farmers. While we're seeing, I suppose, milk prices are obviously very good at the moment, or, relatively good. If they drop, interest rates rise, we're going to start to see a huge amount of pressure on farmers,
I highlight that farmer well-being is a very, very important topic. It's quite topical at the moment. Mental health, COVID, the input prices, everything's kind of going up. Is there any advice you'd have to farmers or support that are available to help them get through this tough time?
Yeah, look, the first thing we say, and it's not just because, look, we're in existence since the 70s, and we were set up, we're a co-op, so we're there to support farmers. farm relief services, like that's what we're there to do, to help farmers. So the first thing is, look, there's help out there, whether that's, you know, with us in terms of the labour side, you know, on the training side, and you'll talk about that a bit later on. But also, you know, don't be afraid to talk to neighbours and that type of thing if you need help, and where you spot sort of things going wrong, act on it early. And I think, look, you know, farmers traditionally are proud, you know, very proud, and sometimes it's seen like a badge of honour not to ask for help. But if you need help, just go out and ask it. Look, you're here in the Ploughing, like most stands, there's massive amounts of supports out there for farmers, like particularly from government departments on that. There's plenty of help available out there. But look, I suppose the most important thing is to get the labour there and get support. You know, if they don't do that, things like health and safety as well become an issue on farms, you know, overdoing it. It's probably, it's the most dangerous job out there in Ireland today, you know.
Well, Colin, that was a fascinating insight into labour and farmer wellbeing. So, thank you very much.
Thanks a million, William. Thank you.